Okay, for the benefit of the camera, this is Jack Wheatley's second advanced riding session. It's the 27th of July 2021, and today's route will be via Ashbourne, Turnditch and the B5023. Jack is riding his bike Lima Foxtrot 16 Charlie Uniform Yankee. So we haven't got comms, unfortunately, so I'll do another commentary, Jack, so that at least you've got something to refer to when you watch the video. Hope the sound is better on this occasion. So yeah, just keeping in the offside lane now, overtaking these vehicles. Speed now 54-55 mile an hour. That's it, wait for your exit to be clear before you progress. We've got a heavy in lane 2 that's holding up the traffic, so just hold your speed off. Check your mirror, make sure that everything behind you is tickety-boo. Heavies have moved into the near side lane, so traffic speed should increase now. Good, you've been careful of that wagon, letting him out. Good. So into the near side lane nicely. Just being aware that round the corner we come into a 40 mile an hour limit. Just round here, Jack, so just make sure you go through there at the 40 mile an hour mark. Bring the speed down, don't get too close to those vehicles in front. Just check the slip road to the left, make sure there's nothing going to affect you that's coming onto the main carriageway. Always take a look at your earliest opportunity, and then a final check just as you're passing the entry point onto the carriageway. We're turning a right. Turning right here. Go on, Jack. Okay, we're on the A52 Ashbourne Road now. speed limit at the moment is 40 mile an hour. Nice position too, Jack, no need to move from 1 to 3, you can see well ahead of yourself. Just being aware of that vehicle on the near side. Good, he's looking at us. And we've got a good view way ahead, above that heavy that's in front of us, that blue and white wagon. Just holding it nice and steady, checking the mirror. We have got vehicles behind us, so we will need to indicate should we alter our course for the benefit of those vehicles behind us. We're okay with that car on the right, no problem. Traffic lights ahead showing red against us. Bringing the speed down nice and gently. Just remember to look, I'm sure you're looking in your mirrors, Jack, when you do start to slow down, but it's also worth a rear observation just before you start to use your brake or bring the speed down, as well as your mirrors. So look through your mirrors and then straight into a rear observation. Still in a 40 limit, so following traffic. At this moment, no real need to move position 1 to 3, watching that taxi there on the left. And another car putting ready to pull out on the left as well, he's fine. Like we've got a bit of rain coming our way, so just being a little bit careful with the road surface. Okay, we're now in a 50 limit, so I'm just checking my mirror. Rear observation, bringing the vehicle speed up to the speed limit because it's safe to do so. Position now towards position 3, have a good look round and then coming across to position 1. Well done, Jack, nicely done. Coming in nice and early, holding that position 1 whilst we go round the right hander. Been a little bit careful of this pickup in front, not sure what he's going to do. He's doing 44 mile an hour thereabouts, so there could be an opportunity to overtake when it's safe to do so. But now he's picked his speed up to the 50, so he's taken that opportunity away from us. Jack, position 1, good. And bringing the speed down, good. Checking mirror and a rear observation, Jack, before as we come down the speed limits. Gear for the speed. Trundling through this village now at 40 mile an hour. Being mindful now because we've got rain on the road and it's been very dry for a while, that it could be a little bit greasy, particularly on ironwork on the road, so try and avoid where we can. There's your 50 signs. You've checked your mirror. Rear observation, mate, don't forget. Have a look at those on our debrief. So picking it up. Having a look now. Coming into position 1 for that right-hander. Nicely through. Good, compensating for oncoming vehicles, watching that tractor doing the hedges. So just holding it back off that vehicle in front, giving ourselves a good stopping distance, particularly on with the weather conditions as they are at present. Checking the mirror, vehicles behind us. So again, we'll need to indicate should we alter courses or decide to make progress around any vehicle in front. Good, nice position 1. Dropped our speed somewhat down to 45. That pickup in front is varying the speed from 50 down to 45. Quite typically they'll, as you appreciate, on a straight road they'll bring the speed limits up. They're quite happy to do that. Round the bends they'll slow down and often brake in a bend, which can cause you a problem sometimes, so just be aware of that. Checking the mirror and the rear observations coming into the village. 30 mph speed limit. Picking a gear for the speed. Just scanning now and planning ahead. I've still got the vehicles in front that we've been following for a couple of miles now. Not much opportunity to progress past them. Looks like the rain has stopped for us, which is nice. Re-observation just to make sure nothing's coming up our offside before we start off. Taking in position to look round the left-hander, give us a bit more view, compensating for the oncoming vehicles. Okay, we can see well ahead, 30 mph speed limit at the moment, and that will go into a 50 fairly shortly. Have a vehicle behind us, so we need to make sure that he's aware that we will be increasing our speed, so up to the 50 mph. Looking round the bend now. Road markings and tree line shows us the bend is opening up for us. Nicely, good viewpoint, all limit line all the way through, right the way through to the vehicles up ahead. That pickup truck has now turned left out of our way, so that's good for us. Sweeping right-hander coming up. So good positioning, Jack. Nice and early, which is good to see. And you're holding it nicely, which again is good to see. Quick mirror check, everything's okay. Car behind me. Slight loss of vision over this brow of the hill. The road goes round to the left, I can see the tree line. And I can see that there are solid white lines both ways. So just a nice position one, well done. So far, Jack, it's all looking good. You're dominating your position on the road, which is good to see. A couple of little points on rear observations and up and down speed limits. I know that you're using mirrors, but you'd benefit from that rear observation, and an examiner would want to see that from you. Your positioning is very good. So planning now up ahead, watching where the vehicles are going, watching the road, watching the junctions on the left, having a good look around, limit point all the way around. Nicely tucked into position one, and we can have a good look, and there's the road up ahead. Lovely view all the way through. Just checking my mirror, and there's a crawler lane coming up, but we've got no heavies driving slowly in, so we'll stay in lane one. And arrows bringing us in, so a quick shoulder check would be good here to make sure that guy in the Merc is not going to overtake us. Although he had contemplated it, I think. And you may have seen him, Jack, in your mirror, but he was coming up the offside lane of that hill, looking to, I think, overtake me at least, and if not you, before the road borders back to a single carriageway, or before the crawler lane ended. So back to what's in front. Our blue and white light vehicle is still with us. And this is a new traffic island up ahead. Watching that junction on the right with a car on it. Just checking my mirror just before we go through that hazard. Gear for the speed because I've slowed down. I'm going to go straight over the island, taking the first exit. I've checked, nothing coming through. And accelerating away from the hazard, but I'm going to have a look. Don't get too close, don't get too close. Single file traffic up ahead. Looks like the road works, so good. Take a bit of a look. Possibly traffic signal controlled. observation before we start off. Good, you've done that. Don't get too close to him, Jack. Give yourself a bit of a view past him, because you may be a case that you're able to progress once you've gone through these roadworks. If you come back a little bit, probably where I am, you'll see more than you can see at the moment. Coming into a 40 limit, so I'm just checking my mirror, making sure the vehicle behind me has reacted. The fact that I'm slowing down. At the traffic island, we're going to turn right. Mirror check before we come onto the island. Just checking vehicles coming onto the island. There's one there. Round breakaway signal for this vehicle here. Cancel the indicator and accelerate away from that hazard. Coming in now to the village of Ashbourne, the outskirts. Vehicles going on and off the petrol garage to the left on the near side. So everything's slowing down. And blue wagon is now turning right. So nicely through. Nice and gently, 40 mile an hour speed limit. Vehicles in front are doing about 33, 34. No need to progress past them at this stage. Again, coming into a position so we can see round this left-hander. That's good, Jack. Keeping nicely to position 3, holding it on 3. Got a good view around this bend. Checking my near side mirror, watching that Mercedes behind me. And when we get to the bottom of this hill, Jack, we're going to turn right at the traffic lights. So again, all looking good. Nice positioning, nice fluency of your ride. The fluency of the ride has really come on this session compared to last week, which was a little bit mechanical, but just as a point, as you can just see in front of you now with this Arctic that's coming up, if you come down this road and there's a traffic queue and you decide to filter and go along the outside of it, be very careful if you're at the front of the queue of those Arctics that are having to swing round that are coming from your right. You could find yourself in a bit of a dangerous position. So straight on at the traffic lights ahead. Yeah, sometimes I do take people to turn left here, Jack, but the road going round to Carsington Water is there's no opportunities to progress really. It's just, although it's a windy road, quite nice, but it's double white lines virtually all the way through, so it doesn't present any great opportunities for us. This is a better road if we go straight on. So we're just waiting here. There's got vehicles behind me, vehicles still approaching from the left, and it's a route for heavy goods vehicles, believe it or not, so you do get quite a few heavy goods coming through there, so just checking it. Well done. So maintaining the 30. You'll find that this part of the road here, you think this could be more than a 30 limit, and perhaps it could, but it's still designated as a 30, so if you do come along here, particularly on a test run, make sure that you keep your speed to the 30. At the moment you're doing about 35. Okay, slight loss of vision ahead, so just a nice position 2 I think here, Jack. Not a 3 because we're a little bit close to the centre there, in case anything's coming over the hill on our side of the road. So that's a classic case really. Just a position 2 is fine. Nothing really to be gained by moving to position 1 or 3, particularly where there's a loss of vision on the crest of a hill. So here we now go into a 50. I'm checking my mirror, a rear observation, good, well done. I'm up to the speed limit of 50. I'm actually going to cut this road off a little bit. Set to hold a position 1 round this right-hander, going through the trees. Nicely, and it opens up for us very nicely, so we can see well ahead. Getting a gear for the speed, coming into position 3, nice and early, excellent, well done. Compensate for that vehicle coming at us. Road markings show us the bend is opening up, look, there it is. So we know we can accelerate through. Road going round to the right, up over the crest, slight loss of vision, so just keeping it nice and gently as we go over. And into the dip, and then a left hand bend. To compensate for that vehicle, which was a little bit close to the white line, so you did well to move away from him. Checking my mirror, I've got 1 vehicle behind me, so we'll need to indicate should I decide to alter my course for his benefit. I'm now going to take a nice gear for the speed, because we've slowed a little, down into the dip, watching the junction left and right, up. Okay, you've got a good view all the way through now there. Jack. And you can see now that the road goes round to the left. Solid whites, and it goes into a broken white, so it shows it's opening up for us. Then looking at the arrow, it's bringing us into the near side, so probably going to bring us into a solid white. Yes, it does, round. It's showing us a warning sign of a bit of a sharp bend. I'm going to check the hedgerow and the road markings. They open up for us. I'm now going to take position 1. So I've got a really nice view coming up. Nice right hand bend. It looks like a junction to the right as well. So being mindful of that, of anything coming out. Braking for this bend, look good. Yeah, it tends to creep up on you, that bend does. Nicely round, opening up for us nicely, look. Bringing into a nice position 1 as we come off that bend. Quite naturally to come into that position. Holding it round, slight loss of vision there on the crest. Looking at the hedgerows well up the front, we can see it goes round to the left. This is where your planning comes in, planning all the time. Still on a 50 limit, road is going round to the left, up the hill and round to the right. Scanning everything we can see in front of us. Coming up to Holland Ward. I'm going to take a nice gear for the speed that I'm doing. Watching as we come through. Nicely through there, Jack, well done. And bringing in position, good, good, good. Careful now, 30-mile-an-hour limit hits us Holland Ward, so we should come through there at 30. This is the village of Holland Ward, very nice village, on the edge of the peaks, part of the Ecclesbourne Valley I believe. And look at that for the view of the road well ahead, nice straight road, and then it bends round to the left because the cars are showing us where the road is going. I think you'll find there is a junction ahead where you can go slightly forking off to the right, which will take you into Western under Needwood. Perhaps we'll do that on one of our future lessons. It's a good twisty road to work. Okay, yeah, have a good look round. Position 3, nicely round. Still a 30. Still a 30 before it changes up ahead to a 50. Checking my mirror. Good, and observation, well done, and away we go. Okay, you can see the road now planning, watching for this vehicle here. Be very careful. As I was saying, you can see well ahead on that road there up to this right hand bend. You'll see on the video that I came out for that vehicle just to give myself a bigger safety margin in case he decided to pull out that little bit further. He was sticking his nose out. nice and gently through here. There we go. Maintaining a nice position. Position 3, that's good, Jack. Watching the junctions up ahead. Scanning, scanning left and right. Good, good, good. A right-hander and then a left-hander, so we can just straighten that off, keeping the bike as upright as we can, much more stable. Warning sign saying adverse camber, and you can actually see it as you come down, so be a little bit mindful of that. Coming down to a 30 limit for turn ditch. Checking my mirror just before we start to bring the speed down. So we're going through the village of Turnditch now. Nice 30-mile-an-hour limit, just easing the bike through. Again, we're still planning, we're still scanning the environment, scanning the road, scanning all the information that's coming into our head that determines what we do in respect of position, speed, gear and acceleration. So yeah, good, we're having to hold the speed down just a little bit on the brakes. Just checking my mirror there, just make sure the vehicle behind us reacting to the fact that we're sticking to the 30 limit, and he is. And when we go through up to the traffic lights not far ahead of us now, we're going to turn right. It's the Cowers Lane traffic lights at the railway pub. 40-mile-an-hour speed limit we've gone to now. So signs are coming up. And we are going to turn right. Watching that vehicle there, look. Okay, good restraint. Looks like we've come back into the rain, Jack, a little. Okay, that vehicle in front is also turning right, and we've got a vehicle turning left in the opposite. Right, vehicle turning right in front of us, okay. Mirror check, lifesaver before we turn. (40-mile-an-hour), and then it goes into a 50 just at the rise. We've got vehicles in front of us which will probably get up to the speed limit quite nicely, so just checking the mirror, nothing behind us at the moment. Being mindful of the rain on the road conditions. So okay, let's start looking at these bends and planning, scanning round. The vehicle up ahead looks like it's a learner, or could be a learner driver, so it may go fairly slowly. picking our road surface here, Jack, picking the dry pieces where we can. Having to go around a little bit slower around these, around this bend and the next bend because of the vehicles in front that are going quite slowly. Okay, coming out of those bends now, looking at the road ahead. That's good, into a nice position 1. And then a position 3, I'm going to take a little bit off that bend just to straighten it up. In that junction on the left, vehicles are braking in front. It looks like the one vehicle is going to be turning left towards Hazelwood. And there's a vehicle, oh, he's moving out of the way now, that large pickup. Nothing behind me, so, well, there is one, but he's quite a way back. I'm looking around over the hedgerows, trying to see where the road takes me. Looking at the shape of the road and the shape of the hedgerows, tree line. There it is, I can see, look at that hedgerow going round to the left. Watching this junction on the near side, often you get vehicles coming out, I think it's a garden centre. Still picking our road surface because of the wet conditions. Lay-by up ahead, so just be aware we've got one vehicle in it. I'm not going to be pulling, oh, we've got one vehicle moving, so just going to move a little bit across away from it. And the vehicle pulling out from the offside. I'm now going to chop this one off nicely because keep the bike upright. And we're coming into a 40-mile-an-hour Duffield. Okay, Jack, we're coming down now into Duffield. to the A6, where we're going to be turning right. Good, nice signal. Gear for the speed. Quick lifesaver. Watching that iron in the middle of the road. Holding the speed at 40. Good shoulder check. Just slow those shoulder checks down a little. Make them part of your ride, not just a mechanical. Just nice and gently, nice, fluent rear observations. Vehicles in front turning right, mirror check. We're going to go straight up into Duffield. I'm going to try and come alongside you at some stage if just to give you a message about going off to Kingsway. Into a 30 limit.